Now, find the question box, please, because I would like you to be able to ask questions. I stop in between different modules, and I would love to answer questions or go into things deeper if we have time. So please don't hesitate. If I'm going too fast or you want a little bit more explanation, you're welcome to ask. All right, so number one, when we get into the application, we want to make sure that you know where to find your help resources. So we have help.infusionsoft.com, learn.infusionsoft.com. We have the user guide inside help, tech support numbers, access to the mastermind webinar recordings. And then, of course, that learn.infusionsoft.com is marketing help. So we'll get into the application and show you where that's at as well, but you can always go to help.infusionsoft.com and we'll look at that in a few minutes as far as training material and questions and issues. So this is what we're going to go over today. How to add a new contact, a few great apps that we recommend, introduction to tags, how to do a simple import, go over 2 different ways to view your list, a couple of different ways to search for a contact, and then save that search and then add it to your dashboard. How to add a tag to a contact, a couple of different ways, and then take a deep dive into the contact record itself. So CRM is Customer Relationship Management. If you've not used a CRM before, it's just a really good dumping ground kind of to put everything in to then get it organized. So it helps to keep track of communication, keeping track of important details, keeping track of what list the contact belongs to, and keeping track of tasks or appointments. So that application that a couple of apps that we had originally had are now into one. So we have a mobile Infusionsoft or Infusionsoft Mobile, and we had something called Snap by Infusionsoft, and now it's one. We have one app that it's in, or now Snap is inside of mobile app. So Snap is kind of a fun little tool. If you take a picture, once you download it on your smartphone, once you take a picture of that business card, it goes into transcription. And then an hour to a couple hours later, you get a response saying, hey, your card is ready. Now you can look at it in preview. Then you can send it into a campaign. So if you are a networker or heavy on the business card side of business, you take a little picture of the card, it goes right in, and then you can put them into an automated follow-up that says, hey Tom, it was really nice to meet you at the event last night, and be specific about the event or as vague as you need to be at a general event. And then that next morning, they would receive a quick little email that has your information in it, and it puts them into your prospect list or maybe a some whatever type of list that you're needing. We also have something called Sync for Gmail. As you can see on the right-hand side, when you open up your Gmail, if Sarah Jane is a contact inside your Infusionsoft application, then they're going to show up on the right-hand side with their information. If they're not a contact, you would have the opportunity to add them in the Gmail app. The same for Outlook. I have the Outlook sync on my computer. I don't use it much because we just don't have to. We don't need to, but I have played with it before. I do like it. It looks like this. There's a little bit more information that you can get on the Outlook part of things. And Max right there, it would be a contact. If not, it would be, you'd have a bar at the top of your Outlook that says, would you like to add him to your application? And you sure can at that point. So let's talk about tags. If you are using MailChimp or Constant Contact Aweber, any of those other email senders, you're going to have several different lists that that person might be on. So if Tom is on your prospect list and he's on your newsletter list and he's on your event attended list, well, in Infusionsoft, he's going to be in one big list. But something that differentiates Infusionsoft from other companies is he might be on that huge list, but he's going to have a whole bunch of names on him or something called a tag. So Tom is going to be one contact in my application, but he's going to have a tag called newsletter and a tag event attendee and tag prospect. Or he might be a customer, so he wouldn't have that prospect tag on him. You would remove that tag and add a customer tag. And here are some examples. So we have prospect, customer, dog lover, cat lover, dental phobic, yoga, visitor. So those are some characteristics. You can use them as total characteristics of what that person is, or an action. So you can follow them in their engagement and their action. So they've requested or attended, visited, opened, or clicked. And if they click on something, or if they open something, or attended something, a tag can be added to them to then offer that next. Maybe there's an email that says, hey, thanks for watching that video. Well, that's an automated piece that we can add in there that makes it just takes a little less manual operation off of you. When you know that they've clicked on something, then we can offer them the next thing or the upsell. So we're going to send you today something called an Insider's Guide to Mastering Tags and Categories in Infusionsoft. And then also, we're going to also send you an email compliance handbook, and I'll show that to you in a second. So you can apply or remove tags when doing an import on individual contact records to an entire group. We call that mass tagging, or on the Infusionsoft mobile app. Then automatically it can be added in a campaign or removed, and then that tag also could be added in an email link. So if they click on an email link or a picture and it had a tag on it, there are so many things that you could create automation for with those tags. So when adding a contact, we're going to talk about our list now. When adding a contact, it's always super important to ask for their permission. So we're going to send you an email resource handbook. And when we import contacts, it's super important to make sure your list is clean, to make sure your list is current, that the people that are on that list want to hear from you and remember who you are, and organize your list before importing, and then check for duplicates, and we'll go through that. And then today's challenge, when we're done with this is our goal, is that you're able to add a contact a few different ways. If you would like the mobile app, then to get that downloaded and start playing around with that, and also play with the Snap app. It's really fun. It is free. I think up to 175 cards or 150 cards a month per user. So take a look at that, and then create a few tags on your own, and really think about what you how you want to track those people. Who are they, and what's important for you to kind of figure out in reporting and things like that. So get a piece of paper out and start working on tags and categories, and we'll look at that in a minute. And then to do a quick import, just put 10 people on in a little quick test list and do an import and see how easy it is, and to make a little sense out of that. And then to do a search based on a tag. And then the very bottom, make Infusionsoft yours. This is your baby. You can't hurt it. It is, I always tell people that I want you to learn how to play with this so you can love it like I do. I've been with Infusionsoft for 5 years. and 2 days now. And I was a coach for 3.5 years, and I just still really love the software. It is, but I've also gotten to play with it a lot, and that's kind of the most important part, is just to set a good schedule, that you're in there on a daily basis. Even if you don't have to be, get in there and start that nice routine that you're in there logging in, playing with something, learning something, watching a quick little 5-minute video about that next little item that you're wanting to try. All right, do we have any questions so far? All right, we are going to get into the application. Let me pull it over here. All right, so let's go over a little bit of maybe beginning stuff, because I don't know where you guys are at this point. So if you've played with it or anything like that, so let's just take a peek at this. This is my dashboard. This is the upside down arrow that's going to help navigate through all of the different pieces. Your My Nav area here is something you can customize. So if you are going to be in charge of Campaign Builder, or maybe you're in charge of referral partners, you can always edit this and change, pull over things that you're going to be quickly needing. So you don't have to, it's just kind of a favorites bar is all it is. Doesn't change anything. And then we also have the different pieces up here. So our little house contains the basic training, initial setup on our dashboard. You can always move your dashboard over to the favorites, which I do all the time. You have My Day and calendar, tasks, inbox, and files. And this file area is important to kind of take a peek at. If you have images that you'd like to upload ahead of time, or any type of documents that you're going to use in emails, it's important to get them in here and name them properly so that you know what you're looking for. So right here, I've got my files, company images, digital products if I had any. So let's go back to company images. So I have several here. This is what they look like. Here's the file size, uploaded date. I can download it here. I can rename them or delete them. So you've got the same thing with the company files and my files. So over in the little clock here, this is your latest, your recent lookup. This is your favorites area. So when you create an internal form or a Google Doc or something that you need quick access to, you can add it to here. So you've got, I have different links that I have an internal form that I just created for fun, just to have a little favorites bar up there. Then you have your marketplace. So we have products and services, the different apps, campaigns, and services. So products and services takes us to the marketplace to then go look for those third-party apps that we might need, or the download of our Gmail sync or Outlook sync or Infusionsoft University. All of these different things are in here. And it is a separate URL, so marketplace.infusionsoft, you can look up on your own. Then we have the profile, so this would tell you if you're connected to a customer hub or not. This is where you would manage your accounts and edit the profile. And then this is where you'll find the Help Center. So we have a new thing called Ask the Community, and it takes us to a community conversation page. You can look up different, oh, I haven't activated mine. Sorry about that. You can look up different things. There's a Help Center, Marketplace, Infusionsoft University, and known issues. but also it's an active conversation in there for different topics. And then the Help Center. So let's take a look at that. And then Roger's asking, is there an option for Dropbox service to upload files larger than 10? Not inside the application. We can't, nothing will come into Infusionsoft bigger than a 10 megabyte. Now, on our homepage, we have, obviously, you've figured this part out because you're here. So contact management. Tomorrow is campaigns and, or no, not campaigns and broadcasts. It would be, oh, this isn't the section. Webinars is, sorry about that. Infusionsoft basic training. So you're already here. Then you have email builder and how to send a broadcast would be tomorrow at 10 o'clock Pacific. Campaign builder is Thursday at 10 Pacific. And Judy teaches these two, and they're awesome classes. If you cannot attend those, you will also receive the recordings from last week's version. We talk about pretty much the same things, just different questions get asked. So in the user guide, these are things that are, this is laid out in a way for someone who likes to read by reading. So user permissions, I want to learn about this. So how do I create user permissions for a contact? And it's going to take you step by step through the different instructions. If there are images, they're there, but there's not usually a video. I am a video learner. I'm a very visual learner. So it's important for me to have the videos in the video library. I want to learn how to add an email signature. So it's going to take me through maybe a 3 or 5 minute video on just that topic. Then you have support here. You have API support, which is super important for those who have a dev team that need to kind of know about that. Release notes, known issues, user groups. This is kind of a fun thing too. If you live in an area that has a user group, then it would be a good use of time, my opinion, to go to those monthly or bi-monthly, or no, every other month. I guess that's not bi-monthly. Every other month, I'm not sure what their schedules are. There's a moderator, and you guys can talk about different topics and learn different things, anything from marketing, but it's usually just Infusionsoft. It's a Infusionsoft user community, but it's local to you. You can even start them if you don't have anyone around. Infusionsoft University, if you would like to attend an intensive 3-day course, this is a fantastic resource. We have glossary, different terms, and then contact support. The support, I would suggest if you're working on a campaign that you call in. If you're working on other things, that you can use chat really easily, and it works great. I find that I would get irritated if I'm in a campaign and I want to talk to somebody. I don't want to type to them. So it might be worth the 5-minute wait to get on to talk to somebody. So any questions about the Help Center? All right. So let's get in there and learn how to add a contact. We've got about 40 minutes left. I don't want to miss out on anything, but please ask questions if you need to. So when we hover, our CRM, this is what we're playing in today. CRM contacts is what we need. Now this takes us to a search engine here, search criteria, or we're going to go to contacts and add a contact. We also have an ad here. Oh, thanks, Jeff. Jeff says, great stuff. He's a first timer. Anyone else? Tell me real quick, Anthony and Roger, or Taylor, Renee, any of you, tell me real quick, and Jody, where you are as far as learning. Is it very first timer, beginner level, or just a refresher? First time, thank you. Chat support has been great. Thank you, Roger. First time, Taylor. Awesome. we have been using for about 2 weeks or so, Roger. All right. So you have kind of gone through these little baby steps. So we're adding one at a time here. And Taylor says the community is very helpful for first timers. That's awesome. Thank you for that feedback. And we have a coach who is very helpful, Roger. Awesome. I love to hear that, is that your support is what you need. So I'm thankful for that. So this little plus sign is for just quick add. So let's say we want to add just one person. We'll say Judy. All we need really is one piece of information. We could either have a first name, a last name, an email, not just a phone number. That wouldn't be very helpful. So let's say Judy. So as soon as I type this in, we have a little box that pops up. It says I have permission to send marketing to this address, and this takes us back to that conversation earlier, or that little point. We have to ask permission to make sure that they are wanting to receive our information. If we blindly just send it out to them, then chances are they will spam, they'll complain of spam, and we don't want that ever. We want to make sure that they want to hear what we have to say and that they've given you express permission. So yes, Judy says, hey, I would love to get your newsletter. So we're going to save this. Now we can go to Judy and look at her full contact record. And we'll take a look later at all of it, but just to show you that it created that full contact record, but she has no tag, so we don't want to lose her. So we need to add a tag by managing tags here. We'll do that later. Now, here's another way to add a contact. CRM, contacts, and this is going to take us to our general add a contact. It's called the standard add contact form. We do a little drop down. We have a short add contact form. If you don't want to have all that junk to fill out, or assignment form, you can create a form special for you. And this is kind of a funny one: first name, email, phone, appointment range, assigned to good looking guy or not so good looking guy. I was just kind of creating one for fun on the phone one time. And then a master form. This is a big hairy sucker that says this was for my for one of my old clients a long time ago that I created. So prospect follow-up, a first attempt, a second attempt, a final attempt. So this would be for a call-out form, an internal working form, contact form, additional information, quotes. So there's a lot of things on here that we could get, and this is a very specific form for a specific team. So you have that availability to create. And then as soon as this is filled out, it also lives in a campaign that will have an automation, whole bunch of automation after that because of all these different things. So what would happen if you wanted to just put first attempt there? Unable to reach. Well, by clicking this little button and filling out some more stuff in here, they could be put into an email follow-up that says, hey, so-and-so, I just tried to give you a call. I just wanted to follow up. How did you like your maid service? Or whatever that form is. So just know that you can create internal forms that are specific to your team. Now, let's add that contact, add a contact in our standard add contact form. Let's take a peek at what that looks like. So we have our first name, last name, company, job title, person type, owner ID is, that's an internal thing. Lead source, where did they come from? Was it a newspaper lead, a website lead, a Facebook lead, or did Joe Schmo refer them? You can set up specific lead sources in the lead source area and give them a dollar figure as well, so you can know what your ROI is. You have your billing address. You have account summary. If you're using e-commerce, you can see what they owe you and if they've paid. Phone, fax, email, social, all of that fun stuff, and then global information. So if you know that they speak English and their time zone, then it's helpful to put that in there. Now you could save and add another person if you're going to do something manual, or just save that. But I don't have a contact in here. That doesn't help. And make sure, here's that yellow box again, that you have permission, and then click on Save. Okay, so now I have Mike at Disney.com, but he is nobody right now. So who is he? Use Jeff. Okay, we're going to use Jeff. Someone wants me to. We're going to go to Contacts. We're going to do it again. Contacts, add a contact. First name, Jeff. Last name, L. And we're going to come over here, fill out our Jeff at Infusionsoft.com. And yes, he wants me to send him our newsletter. And we click on Save. I don't know anything else here. I could put lead source, training class, and save. Now, Jeff has a contact. He is a contact inside Infusionsoft. So let's take a look now at how to add a tag to Jeff and Judy. We want to make sure that we don't lose them for a prospect or customer or whatever list that we need them on. So let's manage tags. This is manually manage tags. And don't look at my bad example. I have a bunch of crap in here. Sorry, bunch of stuff in here that is that you wouldn't understand it, but customer tags you would. We have prospect tags. Now I use this for my own business as well as I was my high school reunion coordinator. So I have a whole bunch of stuff in here that I can show you how it really works. So in my Mesa High School, that's where I went. My tags here, this is called your category, MHS category. So tags are right here. So all of the MHS category tags are sitting right here. So when I sent out a survey to everybody, I wanted to tag or name the people that had completed that survey. Excuse me. So let's go to the completed survey. MHS survey completed. So we're going to tag Jeff with that. And also, let's do an event. I met Jeff at the Health and Wellness Fair in March. And he's an awesome cookie maker. Now, let's save that. And let's take a peek at what this did. So we're back to Jeff's contact record. We never did leave it. We also have tags down here that now are making sense, so we don't lose them. We have awesome cookie maker in the baking category, health and wellness in the events category, an MHS survey completed in that MHS category, or MHS contacts category, and the date that those tags were applied. So something else that popped up is called a lead score. And this is based upon criteria that you give Infusionsoft upon the importance of the contact going through different campaigns, filling out a form, clicking on an email link. You can give points to different criteria, and then or create that criteria with points. I think I said that backwards. And then their score grows according to their engagement. So we'll get into that at the very end. So now that we've added a contact, we've kind of looked at a little bit at the contact record. Let's go to address, shipping address, optional address, additional information. Oh, Anthony is asking, how do you create tag fields? Awesome cookie maker. I'll show you that in a second. So other fields, we've got assistant name, phone, all of some one-off kind of information. Other fields, referral codes or username and password, or second and third email addresses. We have person notes. See, this is a big pile of notes. It is not searchable, but it is a great place to put information in, like maybe you don't want a tag that's called Awesome Cookie Maker, but you want to have it here just for future reference. Or met at the event, and maybe a specific event, or own business. So you want to, or next door neighbor, or whatever you want to put in there. This is just for your future reference so that you can always know who you're speaking to and be very personal about it. So once you click on save, just remember it's not a searchable field, but it's great information to keep. So save. Now, that was person notes. Now we have some other things that look a little weird to you. I also, in here, I send out information to parents who want to have Santa letters for their children. So I ask them to fill out a form, and I want their first name, last name, their age, their gender, name of siblings, and name of pets or kinds of pets, and what's their favorite sport or their hobby or what have you. And then I get to write the Santa letters accordingly and send them to those children. So that is something I do. I also sent out a survey to my coworkers to find out, excuse me, a little bit about them. So what leadership style best motivates you? Important people in your life. These are all questions that I wanted to have answers so that I could better take care of them. Get to know them a little bit. So these are just custom fields that I used in my application, that if you can think about that, how would you use custom fields in your business? This is what yours would look like. There's nothing in it right now, custom fields, other than my little tag here. And then I had a class reunion, there's the test. So you can create a whole bunch of different tabs up here and headers and your own custom fields. All right, so Anthony wants to know how to create that tag field. So let's go in. We're going to go to CRM, into settings, and go into our tag area. So you have tag categories to begin with. So let's take a peek at those. Customer tags, coaching tags, behavior, prospect, e-subscription. I have 2 tags that are in my e-subscription. So that would be a newsletter. Where am I? Here are my MHS contacts. I have 30 tags that are associated to that category. I have 12 that are associated to the prospect tag category, and so on. So let's look at the tags associated. Tags here. And this is where you would add those tags, Anthony. So add a tag. You can also add them in other places, but this is where you would add them initially. unless you're creating a campaign on the fly and you can just create one real quick inside the campaign, or even inside an email you can add tags. But to keep them nice and clean, I would add them here so that they quickly have a category and you know what you're doing with it. So you can add a tag right here. It's going to ask you, great baker in my baking category. I could add a description if I want, or I can add a tag. So I've got a great baker and it has a category. So let's look at my categories. If I want my baking category, it's going to show me all of those. If I want my high school reunion category, it's going to show me all of these, and it's also going to show me how many people have that tag. So if I go to reunion dinner paid in full, show number, so 7. MHS survey completed. So 102 people finished that survey, so that then I could get some answers out of that. And the answers I got were, are they planning on attending? So 99 out of those 102 let me see quickly that they are planning on coming. And out of that, how many? 14 of them needed a hotel. So then I could jump on it, find out some resources for them, and then just email these guys about that hotel. So tags are super fun and super important to use to get to know your database. I had people that said they wanted to be on the committee. So what did I do? I emailed them immediately and said, oh, great, let's have a meeting. And family-friendly outdoor barbecue. I gave them a choice of what they wanted. Did they want a bar night? Did they want a nice dinner with dancing? Or a family-friendly barbecue? And then you can look at the numbers and see what we did the bar night on a Friday night, and then we did the nice dinner and dancing on the next night, because I was able to survey my people to get to know them more. I hope that kind of explains that a little bit. You have the category to keep them all in order, and then you have your specific tags in here. All right, so let's go tag somebody. Let's do a search for Jeff L. Okay, here's a good place to find someone as well if you're just going to look for one person. So we can do this, and it's going to bring up all of my Jeffs. So Jeff L is right here. And this gives us a different view. We did a search by a single person. Now, by clicking on this link, it takes us back to his full contact record, or it takes us, we can just do this little quick action view here, which allows us to create a note or see the notes, create a task, an appointment, send an email right from here with template and all. We can use our templates in here. Quotes and orders, we can create a quote and an order for Jeff right here. See the tags that he has associated with him. We can apply right here. It's another way to. Apply. Then we've got in an internal form to find out. We want to test add, fill out the form, and it's going to take Jeff's information, auto fill here, and then I just have to fill out the rest of it and save. Then I've also got an opportunity to see what campaigns he is in. So by me filling out or adding that tag, I already know he's in a couple of campaigns. That you don't understand that part yet because you don't know the campaign part of it. But I created automation by clicking or putting a tag on that individual. So by filling that form out, or the criteria for that lead score, and he's in an active sequence. I can see the opportunities if that is part of your application. If you're using opportunities, and what the lead score is. So because he filled out the MHS survey, 4 points was added, and he filled out a web form. So 3 points were added. So he's a really good lead right now. He's a hot lead. So then I can create that automation right here. See, right, it says this little icon right here. Okay, I got to show you. We're going to go into the campaign builder, and I think it might be in here. So remember that lead score. So the lead score achieved, if it increases to 5, I want them to be put into this campaign to then put a task on me to reach out to them because they're a hot lead. So just wanted to show you that that's possible. Even if they are a 4, maybe you just want 4 flames. Or if you want 1 flame, you want to put them into a different campaign that says, hey, how are you doing? Is there anything we can do for you? Questions answered, etc. So remember that that's a neat possibility if you have that type of business model. So let's go back to that contact record. And we want to do a search. So not only can we do them here one at a time, we can do them by tags and by different things in the contact record. So we have our first names, last names, starts with, equals, not, ends, contains. All of these things are kind of fun to play with. You have to kind of make understand them a little bit. So let's do starts with a Z and search. So I just pulled up 7 of the people that I have that they start with a Z. Their first name starts with a Z. Now then I could, from this list, do any type of quick action with these little the icons that come up, or I could take them here, and maybe I don't want to send to Zach Dillon, but I want to send to everybody else. I can take an action from this grouping and apply or remove a tag. I could export this list for somebody that might need to do an event check-in at a desk or something like that. I could send them all a broadcast, so I could send them all an email at one time, and you'll learn about that tomorrow with Judy. I could put them all into a campaign sequence, print labels. All of these different things are actions that I could create. I could then do a new search. Let's do an email. I want to find out how many people have contain an @ sign to tell me how many people of my maybe 3,000 people have an email address for me to market to. Let's do a search. It says all of my database. I have 1,893 that have an email address for me to be able to market to. Now we can still do the opposite of that and say how many do not. And this would be something helpful. So it doesn't contain an @ sign. This is super helpful to know because then I can get my team that might be the phone callers to be able to reach out to them because they have phone numbers and say that is their list now and their responsibility to get those email addresses and get them into a marketable email sequence. Let's do another search. We're going to do one based on a tag now. So tags with any of these, with all of these, doesn't have any or doesn't have all. So let's do with any of the baking. Let's just type in baking, and let's do the awesome baker. No, awesome cookie maker. And search. It's going to bring up all of my playthings. Jane, Mrs. Claus, Donald Duck. So what we'll do here is we have to make sure that we click on that very top one to then autofill the rest of them. And then we're going to add a tag to all of them for a mass application. So apply and remove a tag. And they all sing alto. So I could save, and it's going to ask me to process that. So add a new action. No, I don't need that. Or process. And it's applying to all 5 of those people. While that's cooking back in the background, let's do that again. So let's go to View Contacts. And we could click on Search to grab everybody on my database, but I just want to find out all of my MHS contacts. So just type in that one and let's look at that. Let's do who is bringing a guest and search. So there's 20 of them. Now let's edit that criteria. So I want to, any that are bringing a guest, but also that are wanting to be on the committee. No, where'd it go? Oh well, bringing a guest and needs a hotel. There probably aren't. Oh, there's one. Okay. So from this information, I know that I can reach out to Matt and say, here's and with that mass email, I could have sent to the 14 of those people that they are in need of the hotel. And I kind of know one person's coming with a guest and 13 are coming on their own. All right, so now let's do a saved search. We're going to go to Contacts again. And let's do, we're going to go to our tag and search. So these are the people that are interested in putting their kids in preschool. I did a little thing for my daughter's preschool. So I want to save this. So I can come up here and click on Save. So I'm naming that search Preschool Interest and Save. And what that does, it puts it over here in my saved searches. Well, that's all fine and good, but I need to put it on my dashboard so I can see more. So let's go to my dashboard, upside down arrow to my nav to dashboard, or the little house to dashboard. And I'm going to do another, I want to have another box in here. I don't need the church choir anymore. I can click out of that. It's not something I need to see anymore, but I do want to add a widget so I can see the preschool. So we have campaign reporting, we have RSS, email, calendar items. The one that I use all the time to keep it nice and clean is the custom statistics. So we add to dashboard. And it's going to be a contact record, and it's my preschool interest. And save. I could save and add another one here. Let's just save. Now from here I have 8. That if I click on this little 8, it opens up to the report. I then could email them singly, task to create for a future task, quote, tag, internal form, blah, blah, blah. Or click here and send them all an email. Send a broadcast. So remember that your lists can then turn into actions. All right, so we've done a saved report. We have, just kind of going over my list, we've added a new contact, we need to do quick import before I run out of time here. I've been talking too much about other things. So let's go into our admin, import data. And this shows you a couple of different tools that you can use. I prefer not to use them. You don't need them. All you need to do is create a CSV file out of your list. So download your list from Aweber or Constant Contact, but then clean up those fields and get rid of the longitude and latitude and the fax number if you don't need it and things like that, so that your list looks nice. So we're going to go to Contacts and Go. You can watch a video about importing contacts. You can also download a sample so that you have an idea of what that list could look like. And we're going to browse. And I have one called People Sample. And open. And click on Next. What this is doing is allowing me to see my fields on the left and Infusionsoft fields on the right. So my first name equals first name here. All of the fields look good except date of birth. Is that really what I want? Is that what I want in the birthday? So yours might look like this. If you have some different fields in here, when you first look at it, it might look like this. And this means the green arrow field matched to an Infusionsoft field. Field for the yellow field does not match. So we need to find one, or we choose not to import that field. So let's do no match. We need to pick one. So the birth date field is an additional field, and we need to find that. Additional information would be birthday and something. So right here, this would be something else, Anthony, that you might be able to use when you're talking about custom things for that awesome cookie maker. You could have this field be characteristic, and inside of here would be you would be creating a custom field. Add a custom field, and the information in there could be the content in that field could be that they're an awesome cookie maker, and it's just what you wanted to know, just different content that you're putting in there. Here's the company name, lead source, job title, contact notes, and this is that big pile of notes that is not searchable, but it's a great place to put it. Tags. Now, if you have a field that has, here, I'm going to show you that real quick. People sample. Here's my people sample file. I wanted to show this to you really fast so you understand a little bit better. So when you're importing, here's your information, but you also have something called tags. So my tag header says tags, but in here is the different tag separated by a comma. So John Doe is a prospect, he's a newsletter recipient, and he's an event attendee. So Mindy is newsletter and customer. If those words are separated by a comma, when you import that list, then it's going to create a tag for all of those pieces. So that Mindy is automatically going to have a newsletter and customer tag on them, and John is going to have a prospect, newsletter, and event attendee. So when I do a search for John and Mindy, they're both going to have a newsletter together, but nothing else together. So keep that in mind, that you can have a complete field for their characteristics or their tags. So create tags from your field values. Scroll down, everything else looks great. Click on Next. It's asking, does your field United States mean mine? Yes, it does. Do you plan on sending email marketing? Yes, I do. And how did they become your contact? They filled out a web form on my website. Which service provider have you been using? MailChimp. What method of opt-in have you been using? Single. I've been building this list for about 2 to 3 years, and the last time I sent to it was last month. It's super important to make sure that you're in constant communication with your list. Make it a very intimate relationship if that's your business model, and I don't mean intimate in a weird way, just making sure that they know you so that they never have the opportunity to say, hey, who is this? How many emails per month will these contacts be sent? Oh, I'm going to send them a newsletter and maybe an update here or there. And please provide the compliance team with any other relevant information. So who are they? This is my current list, and click on Next. And this gives me a little preview of who they are, how the fields went into the fields in Infusionsoft. Looks great. So in the contact notes, this is the non-searchable area. It says met at winter conference. And then my tags, prospect, newsletter, and event attendee. So it looks great. I could run some actions right here. Remember, that is adding a mass tag to that individual, to that list. So here are the different actions I could add to this entire list of people. So if I was importing 10,000 people, instead of going in one at a time, I can apply a tag to all of them at once. So I'm going to apply my Alto tag to them because I know they all sing Alto, and I'm going to save. And then I'm going to click on Done, and that adds that Alto tag to all of my list. Let's view that. And I'm sorry, it's 11 o'clock. If you need to go, you're welcome to. I'm going to do a couple more things in here. I want to make sure that we look at the contact record. So let's go in and remember that we can take these quick actions. We also have a different view. So this is a list view that has it's just kind of an easier digestible look. Or if we're going to be working that list, then it's preferable that we do it this way. If we're working it, so we can take action and not have to go into the contact record. Everything is inline editable here. So let's go into John Doe real quick, and I want to look at the bottom part of the contact record. So we looked at the top, address, additional information, all of that fun stuff. So everything above the save bar is about the person, where they came from, who they are, etc. Now everything below is what we're going to do with them. So it's our action area. Tasks and appointments, completed tasks, previous appointments, notes, form submission, and recent email history. So I have my, what do you call them? My screen resolution is super high because I have bad eyes. So I'm sorry, yours would show all of this would be on one page. So I'm sorry about that. So when I talked about the note area, here's person notes. They met at the winter conference. Well, remember this is not searchable, but down here notes is an actionable and searchable note. So we can add a note template. We can create note templates upon things that are constant, like say you have a outgoing call team, phone team, and they left a message, left voicemail too. Upon that template being added, action could be also created in there that sends out a quick little email that says, hey, just tried to call you. Or free consultation completed. Well, now what happens? We add a template in there, and then an action after that template is created or applied could be free consultation completed. A task could be to the next person that takes over from that section. So there's a lot of automation that can happen by note templates, or just repetitive things for you just to make your life easier. But it's going to be date stamped, time stamped, and who put that note on there. So let's do a quick example. Free consultation completed. Scroll down. Date, who did it, free consultation completed, and there you go. So this is a searchable, reportable field or action. Form submission. This talks about an internal form, or they came in off of your website from a web form from Infusionsoft. Now Jeff is asking, great information. I'm going to plug into Daily by George. I can learn this. I will master this. Perfect, Jeff. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming. I'm sorry that this is running a little late. And then recent email history, you can also email straight from here. You guys will receive this recording, so if you need to jump off, you're fine. And thanks for those who need to go. Thank you so much for attending and for your time today. So from the recent email history, you can send an email, which will then bring up the email builder. This is a quick little template, or you can grab the template from here and grab I have a cute little one here somewhere, Santa reminder, and submit. So here's my Santa template. I can change all of the content in here, but the design is there. And send. So you can keep your brand consistency, even sending just one email at a time. Now, you have scored and recent activity, follow-up sequences, campaigns, opportunities if you are using opportunities, or if you have it in your application, orders if you have e-com, web profile, and file box. In file box, this would be, I could upload a file specifically for John. Maybe it's a contract that he signed or something that required just his information is connected to John. All right, so this is what we've done today. We've added a new contact a couple of different ways. We did a simple import. We went over a couple of different ways to view the list in the action view and also the list view. Different ways to search for a contact, the @ signs, the names, the tags, how to do a saved search, and then add that to your dashboard, and then how to add a tag to a contact a couple of different ways. And then we took a look at the contact record in detail. If you have any questions, you're welcome to email me. I'll put that in the chat window right now. And also Judy. You will see her tomorrow. And Thursday. And she's fun, so please go to her class if you have time. So I think that we kind of touched on everything that we needed to today, so thank you again for your time. If you have questions, you're welcome to email us. Come to the classes tomorrow and Thursday, or just watch the last week's YouTube video that you'll get also in the email today. And I appreciate your questions and especially your feedback, and that you will get a survey after this is over. I would love to have some feedback so I can always do a better job. So thanks again and have a great day. Bye-bye.